Hello and welcome to May's Flicks from Picturehouse Cinemas. My name's Flick and coming up this month, Blue Ruin, highly acclaimed US low-budget revenge thriller. Frank Sidebottom-inspired journey into the musical unknown. Concussion, midlife awakening for a New York lesbian housewife. Two Faces of January, edge-of-seat period thriller starring Viggo Mortensen and Kirsten Dunst. Flicks Picks, my roundup of events and screenings across the group. Writer-director Jeremy Saulnier's Blue Ruin, winner of the International Critics Prize at Cannes, is a grimy, violent, super low-budget, super tight revenge thriller that used a Kickstarter campaign to finish production. We are presented with a properly downbeat anti-hero in Dwight, a homeless man destroyed by the double homicide of his parents years before. When he finds out the murderer is being released, he decides to take revenge, and his life is given a jolt of purpose. Dwight's innocence and ineptitude at killing lends an unbearable authenticity to the film, as well as providing a very grisly death scene. And when we realise the family he's avenged are hillbilly killers, we can only begin to imagine where the horror will lead. The message would appear to be, killing, no matter the motive, begets killing.
I don't mean to scare you. I'm just gonna hold you here for a little while. And let you breathe.
Frank is written by Jon Ronson and is loosely based on his time as a keyboard player in a band with the comic creation Frank Sidebottom, he of the Betty Boop-esque, massive papier-mâchéd head.
How to describe Frank?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, there's the head, of course.
He never takes it off. You think it's weird? Would it help if I said my facial expressions out loud? Welcoming smile.
Delighted look.
Michael Fassbender plays the eponymous Frank, a creative and musical tour de force who never removes his head, an eccentricity accepted and rarely questioned by his long-suffering band members, who include Maggie Gyllenhaal as a humorless pheromone player, Domhnall Gleeson, Bill Weasley from Harry Potter as John, and Scoot McNairy in Search of a Midnight Kiss as Don. The film portrays the highs and lows of living on the whims of a crazed but talented eccentric that finally challenges John to look at his own motives and decide who he really is.
Here it is, my most likable song ever. Coca-Cola, lipstick ring, go dance all night, kiss me, just kiss me Nefertiti.
This is your most likable song ever?
Yeah.
People will love it.
Concussion is Stacey Passon's directorial debut and was a Grand Jury Prize nominee at the Sundance Film Festival. The film follows Abby, a 40-something lesbian housewife who suffers a blow to the head from a baseball hit by her son. Following the concussion, Abby is troubled by a restlessness that the life she has is not enough. It would appear it is Abby's libido that has been awakened by the accident, and through a series of incidents, she becomes a high-end escort. The film, however, is not a belle de jour erotic escapist fantasy, but a real and sensitive observation of a need to be free, to self-express, no matter how old you are or mundane your life is. This is a brave, bold and beautifully portrayed exploration of a very rarely seen in cinema age group.
You don't have to do this anymore. It's just not you. Something has to be me by now.
The Two Faces of January is yet another directorial debut, this time from Brit Hossein Amini. The film stars Viggo Mortensen, Lord of the Rings, Kirsten Dunst, Marie Antoinette, and Oscar Isaac, inside Llewyn Davis. It's also worth mentioning that on board are cinematographer Marcel Ziskind, as favoured by Michael Winterbottom, and Pedro Almodovar's composer Alberto Iglesias. What you have with this extraordinarily rich array of talent is a beautifully scripted, fantastically exciting thriller, brilliantly crafted and driven by a killer score. The stars create a triangle of sumptuous-looking deceit, betrayal and innocence, all set in the 60s in the heat and history of Greece.
Those people that are after him, what did he do?
He killed someone. Why would you lie for him?
I didn't do it for him.
What the hell's going on?
Thinks they recognized her. All right, why don't you lay off her?
Don't you ever speak to me like that again.
Or what? How much did you know?
Chester!
Where is he? What have you done to him?
You should have killed me when you had the chance.
Now look at you. A real criminal.
Flix Picks, a bumper month of events and screenings across the group. To celebrate the release of Gareth Edwards' new Godzilla, participating venues will screen the original uncut version of the classic apocalyptic monster movie from 1950s Japan. The eponymous Godzilla, a gigantic radioactive reptile that bursts out of the Pacific Ocean and goes on the rampage in Tokyo, embodies the disastrous consequences of nuclear power and humankind's tampering with the environment. Following the release of The Wind Rises, which he has announced will be his final film, we celebrate the animation pioneer and Studio Ghibli grandmaster Hayao Miyazaki. Catch screenings of My Neighbor Totoro, Porco Rosso, Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle and Ponyo. A great opportunity to revisit or indeed experience for the first time the sublime work of one of the most popular and influential animators in the history of cinema. On Wednesday the 21st of May at 8:15 p.m, join Rob Brighton and Steve Coogan in a live satellite Q&A following a screening of The Trip to Italy. Reprising the formula of director Michael Winterbottom's hit BBC TV series The Trip, the comedians travel the length of Italy reviewing toothsome restaurants, giving us a rare insight into the minds of the comic genii. Vintage Sundays. The 1950s saw the birth of the teenager, and with it a wealth of bad boy heroes and hotly desirable heroines on the silver screen. Throughout May, catch Bonjour Tristesse, Rebel Without a Cause, A Streetcar Named Desire, A Place in the Sun, and finally On the Waterfront on the 1st of June. On Saturday the 10th of May, the New York Mets' current season continues with La Cenerentola, a vocal tour de force for mezzo-soprano Joyce DiDonato, singing her first Met performance of the Cinderella title role, and the high-flying tenor Juan Diego Flores as her Prince Charming. Henry IV Part 1 screens live from the RSC at Stratford-upon-Avon on May the 14th. RSC Artistic Director Gregory Doran continues his exploration of Shakespeare's history plays with this epic, comic and thrilling vision of a nation in turmoil. Part 2 will screen on June the 18th. Following its smash hit live broadcast in 2012, the National Theatre's production of The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime returns to our screens on Thursday the 22nd. Following the story of a socially awkward yet genius 15-year-old who investigates the murder of his neighbour's dog, the production was hailed by the Times as a phenomenal combination of storytelling and spectacle. It was the winner of 7 Olivier Awards in 2013, including Best New Play. That's it for this month. Check out everything you need to know at picturehouses.co.uk. Stay in touch on our various social media sites, and of course our informative magazine Picturehouse Recommends is free to pick up from your local Picture House or download to your iPad. Happy viewing and see you again in June.